I just got back from a 6-day trip up the California coast. It was gorgeous. I went with my family, and I want to talk about the best things that you can do, best practices for dieting while traveling. My very limited experience with this in the past was 2 years ago. I went on this exact same trip with my family after just completing a fat loss diet, and I had no information going into it, no plan, had to guess everything I was eating as far as calories, macros goes, and I had to search for foods that I thought would be acceptable for my diet, and it left me stressed, hungry, and a pain to be around. And I would really love if I can save you from going through the exact same thing. I think I've really learned a lot given this most recent trip. So, the most important things that I think you should do when going on a trip while dieting is, number one, plan out exactly what you're going to eat. I knew that I needed to eat 4 meals every single day, and that 4 of the days were going to be at 1800 calories and 2 of the days were going to be at 1500 calories. I had my sister help me come up with basically an entire meal plan for the week, and my mom and my sister helped me cook everything. We packaged everything up, got it in 2 cooler bags, and I was set. Now, that may sound great and it is really convenient, but that's kind of where the challenges begin for a lot of people, and that's where I want to go into the mindset a little bit. When you're going on vacation, typically, especially if you haven't done this before, you are going to be optimizing for having the best time you can on vacation. How can I have as much fun as possible, enjoy delicious foods, try new things? It's a break. But unfortunately, you've gotten yourself into quite a predicament by dieting while going on vacation. This is where the trip has to go one of 2 directions. You have to choose, do I want to put my fat loss on hold, or do I want to actually keep progressing towards my goals? I'm assuming if you're watching this video, your goal is to keep losing fat while you're on vacation. I recommend that you meal prep. It's the only way to be sure that you're hitting your goals. Your calorie goal, your protein goal, all of your other macronutrients. You cannot be certain that you're hitting those unless you have everything prepared and tracked. Especially the fact that you cooked it yourself, you know what oils were used, how much, the leanness of the meats, so guesswork is not involved. Eliminating guesswork is how you progress towards your fat loss goals in everyday life, and that doesn't change when you're on a trip. You have your meals established. That's part 1. Part 2, regular weigh-ins. When you're at home, you probably have a weigh-in schedule once a week, 3 times a week, or daily. I weigh daily, you don't have to, but you should keep doing whatever it was that you were doing at home while you're on your trip. Eliminating as many variables as possible is what's going to allow you to progress as usual. Variables that can be controlled easily are food, activity level, and hydration. Activity level can be a little bit tricky because you're probably not going to have access to your typical gym unless you go to a big chain and you're somewhere that's a pretty major city, so they have your gym there. I wasn't in that scenario, so I had to train at a few different gyms using equipment that isn't the same as the ones that I usually do, but I was able to make do. I stuck as closely to my plan as possible with the limitations that were placed upon me, and I kept up my cardio goal of 10,000 steps a day. I actually way exceeded it most days, and I think that's typical for most people while traveling because you're exploring. I think I had an average of close to 14 or 15,000 steps. So that's not probably going to be a problem. It's going to be more likely the strength training side of things, but there are usually gyms within range of most places you're going to go on vacation to. Now, if your vacation is out in the woods somewhere, you kind of have to just ignore everything I've said and try to bring healthy things that you can cook. Like if you're going backpacking or camping, you're going to be super limited, but just do your best. Do push-ups, do pull-ups on branches, cook some eggs over the fire, do what you can. That's what all of this comes down to, is doing what you can and not just doing what you feel like. You can usually do a lot more for your fat loss than you would think while you're on vacation, because odds are you're not really trying that hard to optimize everything for your fat loss. Now, a little bit of lenience is expected and is okay. I didn't give myself any lenience, but I'm competing in a bodybuilding show in 12 weeks, so I'm in a different situation than you most likely are. If you're dieting casually, you can be more lenient. You can have a meal off plan or skip the gym for a day, and it's not going to derail your progress. You're not going to lose all the weight that you want in a day, and same thing goes for gaining it. So don't sweat it if something goes a little bit off plan. Don't make excuses either. Find that balance. Mostly you can tell where it really lies. So the final thing that I really want to hammer in on is mindset. As I was saying earlier, you're used to optimizing for enjoyment on vacation. And this doesn't mean that you're not going to enjoy yourself or you should try to avoid having a good time. You should still have a good time and make the most of it, but don't rely on food or fullness to be the thing that keeps you having fun. That's easier said than done. I had a lot of hard moments over my trip. It was the hungriest I've been throughout the entire diet so far, but I still had a great time, and I look back on the experience really fondly. I don't look back and think, oh my god, that was torture, because it wasn't, and it was my choice. That's the important thing to remember. No one is forcing you into this. This is not a punishment. You are choosing to optimize for fat loss, not for vacation enjoyment. So enjoy the benefits that come from that, not the things that you suffer from not optimizing for your vacation. You're going to still be progressing and getting leaner, even while you're on a trip. That's really impressive. You should be proud of that. You should take satisfaction in your progress and in your discipline. It takes a lot. Most people gain weight on a trip. To lose weight is pretty great. So do what you can, stick to what you've been doing at home, eliminate as many extenuating variables as you can, and watch the progress roll in. That's how I found it anyway. So I hope that this was valuable. If it was, please drop a like, a comment for your experience, and subscribe. I have more videos coming very soon, and plenty that will be useful if you are someone who related to this. Catch you in the next one. Mwah.